students. This one is going to be about the digestive system. As I said, this is going to be more of a brief overview and highlights of the digestive system rather than anything else. And if you want more information, then please go into your book and look at the kind of disgusting diseases that it has to present. Granted, I would argue that it's not as gross as some of the stuff in the integumentary system. Either way, it'll be a quick overview. And once again, if you have any types of questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and ask. When we're talking about the anatomy and physiology of the digestive system or the gastrointestinal tract, remember that it is a continuous tube that goes through our body, which means that the inside of it is technically outside of your body. So that means everything is going to be lined with epithelial tissue, and it's going to go and start at the mouth and go all the way through your body and end at the anus. In the adult human, it's about 30 feet long. It contains a variety of different types of organs and other things. The primary organs are the main digestive tract that starts in the mouth, goes through the pharynx, the esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine. Those are the main portions. So if you and that is the continuous tract. There are some accessory organs that help everything do things. Those include the salivary glands, the liver, the gallbladder, the pancreas, and some other different types of organs that help secrete things into the digestive tract to make it so that it does what it can do, which is the main function is to take some sort of nutrient or food, break it down so that your body can absorb it, and then do that absorbing itself. As I literally just said, the main three functions of the digestive tract are to digest food or break it down so that it can be absorbed, absorb the food so that it can be taken into the blood or lymph and travel to the cells, get to where it needs to go, and eliminate any type of solid waste from the food processed outside of the body. This is a look at the digestive tract overall. Starts out with the mouth. Inside of the mouth is the tongue that helps with this. There are a variety of different types of glands. Sublingual. Lingual means mouth. Lingua or tongue, rather. Submandibular is underneath the mandible. So underneath the tongue, underneath the mandible, and the parotid gland, which goes through the parotid duct at the back of the mouth. The pharynx is at the back of the throat. The esophagus is the soft tube that goes through your throat into the stomach. The stomach has a variety of different regions. The fundus is the bulgy portion at the top, the body of the stomach. We go into the small intestine, which empties into the large intestine. At the cecum. It's awkward because it has it has both a soft C at the beginning, C, cum at the end. We have the ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, rectum, and anus. Or sigmoid colon, rectum, anus. And out. A couple other different types of things to know about anything else is that we will be so that is the order in which things go, which is why you have the ascending colon, because everything travels from the small intestine and releases into the colon, up, across, down, squiggle, and out. So there's a couple of different types of terms, functions, descriptions that you may potentially need to know. I'm going to just highlight a couple of different types of words. Bolus. It's mass of food. Mastication is the process of chewing. Salivary glands help lubricate food and make it moist so that it can turn into a bolus. Pharynx is where the esophagus and the trachea split off from each other. So that's how things move from one place to another. This is peristalsis. Peristalsis occurs throughout the whole entire digestive tract, and that's the rhythmic movement along. So it pushes things from one place to another. So essentially, if you think about it, you squeeze, and then squeeze, and then squeeze, and then squeeze. It's like the opposite of pulling a rope. I guess technically, whatever. but it's rhythmic contractions. Stomach has an additional orientation that it can contract, so instead of just squeezing in one direction, it also has a different direction which helps churn everything up. That will make it so that the food goes from a bolus to chyme. Chyme is chyme. K, k, k. So it's a K-like sound. CH in this case, chyme. Partially digested food and digestive secretions. We then go into the small intestine. Small intestine is made up of 3 different portions. The duodenum or duodenum literally means 12 fingers. I don't get it. I guess it's 12 fingers long, but still. Duodenum or duodenum. I prefer pronouncing it as duodenum. That's what I was taught. There are some people that will pronounce it as duodenum. Then we go into the jejunum or jejunum, and then finally the ileum. We then go into the intestine, the large intestine rather. At the very base of the large intestine is the cecum, as I mentioned already. Hanging off of that is the veriform appendix. Appendix just means the end of something, so it's a capped end, and veriform means worm-like. So it's the worm-like appendix. The accessory organs: liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. The liver manufactures bile, fibrinogen, prothrombin, heparin, and you can end up, and a variety of other different types of proteins, or blood proteins, that help with clotting, making it so that fat can be broken down, and a variety of other different types of things. It also produces glycogen to store glucose for muscular use. A disease that can happen of the liver that you will see is called cirrhosis. Cirrhosis. There's a lot of hard C, soft C type sounds in the digestive tract, so cirrhosis is one that I wanted to call out. And then finally, there's insulin and glucagon that are enzymes that are produced by the pancreas. One thing that we really don't talk about in anatomy and physiology as much as we probably should are different types of teeth. There are deciduous teeth, kind of like deciduous trees. Those are the baby teeth, and then permanent teeth. There are more permanent teeth than there are deciduous teeth. And that's the way that it is. Sometimes these different molars are actually named by the year, or they're called the primary molar and secondary molar, or the tertiary molar, which is wisdom teeth. Many people actually don't have enough room in their mouth for wisdom teeth to come in, so they become impacted and then they need to get removed. Other different types of terms that you may potentially need to know are the canines or the bicuspid teeth. So they can be referred to as both. The incisors, central incisors, lateral incisors. The premolars are next to the canine teeth. The small intestine is immediately after the stomach. We go through the pyloric sphincter. It's called that because it's in the pyloric region. The pyloric sphincter is where ulcers would occur, generally, gastric ulcers. And then we go into the duodenum or duodenum, the jejunum or jejunum, and then ileum. We go through the ileocecal valve at the very end. In the large intestine, we have the veriform appendix, as I mentioned before. We have the ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, the sigmoid colon. It's called that because it's S-shaped. It goes down, up, down, and then to the rectum, through the external anal sphincter, and out. Liver, gallbladder, pancreas. There's the liver, which has 2 different portions of it. That empties, all of this empties into the duodenum. So the liver empties through the gallbladder, through the, it empties into the gallbladder. Gallbladder stores things, stores bile. So the gallbladder doesn't really do much of anything overall, aside from store bile, to then secrete into the hepatopancreatic ampulla and sphincter. So hepato is anything having to do with liver. Pancreatic is having to do with the pancreas. That's everything that I have for the digestive tract. If you have any types of questions, as I said before, and I will say many times in the future, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask. Have a good one.